What up, tag team? I know it's late, but I'm here bringing you the recap of the Dynamite after Full Gear and the pre-Thanksgiving Dynamite. It's all rolled into one big show. Let's roll into it. Of course, the elephant in the room started the show. William Regal, or Reegs if you're a up, down, down fan. He started the show. Of course, the crowd was going dumb, chanting different things, doing different things, whatever. The crowd was losing it. He could barely even get words out before, you know, the crowd was just overpowering him. Basically, he was trying to explain why. He was saying some words. He said that MJF will be there next week. He didn't want to be in Chicago. Things. Mox comes out. Mox comes out and basically, I don't know if this was choreographed or what, but by the time Mox hits the ring and about to go and about to charge at Regal, Danielson slides in right on time to stop him. And Danielson was like, look, this man has had this and that. He's just look, I understand you're pissed. I understand you're big mad. I get it. I got it. But you can't hit him. Like, I love this man too much. I know what he's did is messed up, but you can't hit him. Danielson had to slap Mox, all of the above. Mox was like, okay, fine, cool. He told Regal, run. Leave this ring, run. Run far away and don't ever come back. And it basically kind of led like that. Like I said, a lot of emotions because, Full Gear, Regal slid MJF the brass nuts. So he essentially betrayed uh Mox, but it's weird because where does that put the BCC? Does the BCC still exist without Reegs? I don't know, but very intense scene there. Then it goes to a Keith Lee interview where they ask, how does he feel about Swerve at the moment? Then Swerve walks up in his face. They dismissed the interviewer, and Keith Lee was like, "You better pick your next words very carefully." And then Swerve put his hand over the camera and was like, "We need to talk about something." And then Keith was like, "That thing," and I guess we'll see where that goes. But the first match of the night, we had Jake Hager, Orange Cassidy for the All Atlantic Championship. Yeah, All Atlantic. Yeah. This was one of those matches where, of course, it didn't feel like a title change. So I think they said this was Cassidy's fourth defense. This is his fourth defense. So typical match, Cassidy wins, and then where the members of the who came out there? Best Friends came out there without Danhausen, but the Factory comes out. And the Factory, I guess, was trying to weasel another title shot or whatever, but then the lights go out. And when they come back on, we see Julia Hart at the ramp. And because you know what that means. Malachi, Buddy, and Brody wreck shop. They beat up everybody in the ring. They beat up the Best Friends. They beat up the Factory. They beat up security. Some other little wrestlers came out there. Destruction. Pure and total destruction. I'm hoping this means that they maybe Malachi might try to get the All Atlantic, or eventually, once this best of seven is over with, they might try to go for the trios. I don't know, but they coming back in a major way. But yeah, they wreck shop on the best friends and the factory. These hands was ready to eat because they was for everybody. Then we get the finals to the Eliminator tournament, which the winner gets a title shot at Winter is Coming. Absolute Ricky Starks, all ego Ethan Page. Of course, Ricky Starks come in heavily bandaged and taped up from the wars he had with Archer and then from the one he had with Brian Cage. Pretty standard match. Standard match, of course, you're gonna, as all ego, you're gonna try to work the body because, like I said, he's heavily beat up. So you're gonna try to work the body, work the midsection and all of that stuff. But ultimately, Starks gets the W. So Winter is coming. Absolute Ricky Starks, MJF. Now, this was one of the matches I felt shafted with at Full Gear in Death Triangle versus the Elite because the Elite was coming back and the Elite was coming back like, hey, we won our titles, fam. And of course, Death Triangle, Ray Fenix used the ring bell to retain. And then, of course, after the match, they was like, oh, well, we're going to do a best of 7 series. And I was like, had this would have been information that kind of would have been privy to, I would have went for Death Triangle in the match instead of going for the Elite. Because I'm like, oh, the Elite making this grand return. They ain't about to lose. But shout out to Dizzle and Yeager for calling that with Death Triangle. But they announced after the match they was going to do a best of 7, which they was going to have a series of matches on Dynamites and things like that. And it was going to go from here until sometime in January if it goes to 7. But this was match 2 on Dynamite. Uh, I'm going to make a separate video about the Elite, but just know the Elite, y'all some cheeky individuals. Y'all are some assholes for real in that life. And y'all did it in Chicago too. I'm gonna make a separate video about that. So stay tuned for that second video. But funny enough, it ended the same way, except I think this time Penta used the ring bell and they got them, not the ring bell, sorry, the ring hammer, and they get the 1, 2, 3. And I think Ray Phoenix slides in and gets mad about it. And it was like, didn't you just do it this past weekend? But wherever. So of course, Death Triangle now is running with the gimmick of they using the ring bell hammer to get the W's. So now the Elite are now down 2-0 against Death Triangle for the Trios Championships. And I want to say next week is the next match, or they're taking a break and doing the week after that, something like that. But they had a schedule planned out. The next match it still happened. It was interim women's champion Jamie Hayter, Dr. Britt Baker versus Anna Jay and Ty Mello and Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue. I don't know why they was doing a triple threat tag team match for reasons, but before the match, Renee calls out Jamie Hayter and basically announced that I guess Thunder Rosa's injuries are more severe than expected. So with that being said, Jamie Hayter is now officially AEW Women's Champion. There's no interim attached to her name. And once again, I don't think I felt shafted by choosing Toni Storm at Full Gear, only because I thought that they was going to settle that score between Storm and Thunder Rosa to merge the belts. And I didn't think that they was going to be passing the interim title around, but they officially announced Jamie Hayter is All Elite Wrestling Women's Champion. And don't worry, they did say on commentary that because of Thunder Rosa's relinquishing of the belt, that Toni Storm's reign was officially counted as AEW Women's Champion. So the title went from Thunder Rosa to Toni Storm, now Jamie Hayter. So kudos to both of those women. I'm gonna make another video about this too because AEW, I gotta stop this interim shit. It's confusing. Like, let this interim thing be a lesson because you had a whole kerfuffle with the world title, the men's world title in interim, and you kind of had a slight kerfuffle with the women's title in this interim thing. So do away with interims. If the champ gets hurt and they can't defend it, then they lose it. Let them try to come back and get their belt back. But just do away with interims. But I'll have another video discussing that too. But yeah, jump at that tag match for reasons. Maybe they just want to showcase some ladies and maybe have, of course, the new champ in a match. But Baker and Hayter wins. I'm just waiting for the inevitable of Baker turning on Hayter. At some point, it's gonna happen. I don't know when. Some point, it's gonna happen, and the friendship is gonna just. Because Baker gonna be like, "I want that title, fam." There were other little segments piecing here and there. I know Top Flight is going to go against FTR for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. I think that's supposed to happen Friday. Something else. Then we get to the main event: Chris Jericho versus Tomohiro Ishii for the ROH World Championship. Once again, this is one of those matches where it was cool to see, but at the same time, you never thought Ishii, personally, never thought Ishii was going to take the belt. So Jericho gets the W, and of course, Jericho's on this whole kick of wanting to destroy all of honor out of Ring of Honor. So I think he tries to go over there and attack Ian Riccaboni again, and Claudio clocks him. So I wouldn't be surprised at Final Battle we're going to get Jericho versus Claudio, and I wouldn't be surprised if Claudio go ahead and get that belt back. Call that a day. But that was Dynamite after Full Gear. That was the Thanksgiving Dynamite. All of the above. Sorry it came late, but I had some things to do. So I had some adulting. I had some Thanksgiving stuff myself. But I'm still trying to deliver this content, for you good peoples in the Tag Nation. So we here. But thank y'all for tuning in. Shouts out to Jug. Shouts out to Dizzle. Shouts out to Jaeger. Thank y'all for rocking. And like how we do on this channel, baby. Let me warm it up. But tag the fucking out.